skill. Exterminate. Exterminate. Over here! Welcome to your doom!
Let's have some real fun.
Impossible!
Playtime's over.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. You're still watching the LoL Collegiate League 2016 Summer Term Group Stages, and of course, that was the trailer for the new arcade skins. You can buy them on sale as a bundle in the shop, and this will be the third match for today. This will be Vindicator Esports from Technological Institute of the Philippines versus University of Mindanao's Red Paladins. Though that matchup last time was pretty even. First it was pretty sloppy coming from UST, but then they got their stuff together and just beat the crap out of Ateneo de Davao. But now it's gonna be a new leaf. It's gonna be Vindicator Esports versus Red Paladins. We'll get their pick and ban faces immediately. What do you think so far, Iconic?
Wow. Janine's LeBlanc. That's all I can say right now. Janine's LeBlanc. Janine has 3 accounts in Challenger solo queue and is known for his LeBlanc. LeBlanc is one of his most played champions, and I think one of those accounts. And I have played with him in our ranked team, and I know what his LeBlanc is capable of, and I am kinda sad for University of Mindanao.
Just preemptively pitying Red Paladins here. So tried and tested Janine on that LeBlanc will be a formidable foe, but looking at the side of Red Paladins, however, they've drafted some quite unconventional picks. The Galio, the Cassiopeia, and the Fiddlesticks.
Usually the unorthodox picks come from Mindanao, the Mindanao Conference.
Alright, yeah, Salvac Scenario as well,
Yes.
with their pretty weird compositions from Iloilo. Looking at here now, yeah, also very strange.
Usually Luzon teams actually pick according to the meta, as compared to Mindanao and Visayan teams that pick more comfort picks for them. And it kinda shows right now with University of Mindanao choosing the Fiddlesticks, the Galio, and the Cassiopeia. It's kinda interesting because TIP is actually a team full of challengers.
I think there's like 3 or 4 challengers in their team.
All of them are challenger as far as I know.
So coming from the experience, they should not be phased by these cheese picks coming from University of Mindanao. But looking at their compositions right now, lots of damage, and the damage just keeps getting enhanced by the Janna. They have the double AD probably with the Graves, and they're gonna have the Draven.
Yes. Looks like TIP really wanna snowball because Echo is a snowbally top. LeBlanc also snowballs mid. Graves does so much damage when he snowballs, and they have the Draven for the extra gold. For University of Mindanao, it looks like they're actually just picking. There isn't any champion swapping going on. They're just picking whatever role they are.
Yeah, it seems like they're really just going through the pick and ban as it comes.
Yeah, exactly. So what's going to happen in University of Mindanao is just actually a pseudo protect the AD carry comp. It's a team fighting composition that revolves around the Cassiopeia and the Jinx. But their Jinx will be their late game hyper carry that will be able to deal with the Draven. But if TIP can snowball the early game and mid game, University of Mindanao won't even have a late game.
That's true, but looking at the composition though, it seems like TIP, they have a little bit of an issue with the initiation. They don't have any form of reliable on-demand initiation
Yes.
coming from them. It's all lots. It's all tons of damage. You have the Graves, you have the Draven. In the top lane, they even have the Echo plus the LeBlanc, and their support will be the Janna. So not a lot of offensive initiation going on there.
Yes.
It's mostly going to be them trying to pick out someone with their extreme damage, I believe. And if ever something goes wrong, they have the insurance with the Janna shields and the Monsoon. But I really want to see how University of Mindanao Red Paladins composition performs. It's very strange, and it might seem that they're just going through the pick and ban phase willy-nilly. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm top lane, I'm gonna pick my top laner.
Exactly.
You do have to realize that they did reach the group stages of the LCL, so
Yes.
they're gonna be. It's not a foe to be underestimated. Ian Manji did talk about how mindset is everything in esports. You always have to
Yes.
be aware of your surroundings in the unagi state of
Unagi.
mind.
Well, hopefully University of Mindanao, they don't try anything flashy, because if they try something flashy like a Flash Galio ult, TIP can actually work with that, with the Echo using his parallel convergence onto wherever the Galio is and stop that. So ideally, it's either TIP will get a pick or they'll counter engage as compared to hard engaging, like you said, because they don't have the composition for it.
Yeah, you really have to rely on your mobility, your speed to get those picks, because you can't. I don't think they can face them on equal grounds head on.
Yes.
Just looking at the composition coming from Red Paladins, there's so much wombo combo potential.
Yes.
The taunt ultimate coming from Galio into the petrifying gaze, into all of the other AoE that they
Yes.
have, but it's going to be all about how they execute it.
So what you kinda expect is for TIP to actually counterplay the team fighting composition that University of Mindanao is bringing to the table, they let the Echo split push. So they don't actually prioritize the Dragon as much, they actually have to prioritize the Rift Herald more.
To help with a push.
To help with
Unless
the
it's a
Echo
Mountain
split
Drake, in which case it's gonna be a question of how much does this team value the damage and the dueling potential coming
Yes.
from Rift Herald, or the entire team getting that buff onto turret and objective damage.
Yes, that's true, because if they give up a Mountain Drake to University of Mindanao, that Jinx is going to shred through their turrets really
Minigun.
fast.
Yeah, it's gonna be that. But yeah, if any of you viewers have any insights of your own as well, you can tweet about it on social media, post about it on Facebook, even on the PGS Rift and the LOL Collegiate
Yes.
League pages. Maybe use the hashtag LCL Summer 2016 and LCL Summer 2016 group stages, I
Yes.
believe. So yeah, just spread the word, spread the link to the stream, which will be esports.arena.ph/stream. Share it with your parents, with your friends, your family, people who play the game, people who don't know about esports yet.
Yes.
So spread the word, because this game I think is going to be interesting considering the compositions that these two teams are drafted, especially on the side of Red Paladins.
Yes. Hopefully Red Paladins won't lose too much, because TIP's kind of looks like win lane win game, more than team fight oriented strategy. So I wonder where the Graves will position himself and which lane he decides to snowball, because
That's
he
true.
actually can gank either of the three lanes. Like a Galio is immobile. He can also invade the Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is really bad when he gets counter jungled. The mid lane for University of Mindanao is Cassiopeia, also very immobile because of no boots.
No boots.
Yeah.
That was in the song earlier. It's like, hey Riot, Nami can wear boots. Why can't Cassiopeia?
Exactly.
But yeah, that's one of the weaknesses of the rework Cassiopeia. No boots allowed. Even though she does get the speed boost from hitting the Noxious Blast,
Yeah.
it's still very hard earlier in the game, and when everyone else gets their boots.
Yeah. Also, the jungler of TIP can also focus on the bot lane to get the Draven rolling. What the University of Mindanao's team comp doesn't have is a lot of HP,
That's true.
which the Draven can capitalize by landing a whirling axe crit onto someone and chunking them for like half their HP.
It'll be like,
Exactly.
that's like, it's LeBlanc and Draven, the magic duo. It's like,
Mhm.
you want to see a magic trick? We'll make your life bar disappear.
Exactly.
Except Draven uses axes.
not
There's a lot of
Magic.
blood.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind
Yeah.
of PG-13 if you.
Well, League of Legends is technically rated T for teens.
Yeah.
There's mild language, blood, but it's a very fun game for everyone,
Exactly.
right? Except if you're playing solo. So yeah, Iconic, tell me more about how you play League of Legends.
Right now I'm actually a streamer. I'm a full-time streamer. I stream 3 times a week, and I'm actually the substitute player for UP Diliman.
Oh, with Neep and Prego.
Yeah, me, Prego, Mikey, Clyde, and Sig, and V.
So
Yes.
what role do you usually sub for?
I sub for top lane and jungle most of the times, but I'm an all-around player. I play five roles to a certain extent.
Yeah, being versatile is very important for every single League of Legends player. You can't just main one role
Yup.
and like, oh, I'll rename my account to Annie bot and play only Annie in mid lane.
Especially if you're a substitute player on a competitive team, you need to be flexible. You need to have update your pool every patch for each role. So it's actually a gargantuan task because you have to not only increase your pool in one lane, but you have 5 different positions to fill up.
Especially if Prego's being heavy.
Yes.
Shout out to Prego.
Shout out to UP Blizzard, the man known for his arcane shift in. Yes.
I saw that in the Rampage
Yes, yes.
LCL match between Ateneo de Manila and UP Diliman, the Naga Esports retirement home that is Oblation Esports
Yes.
won that, but we're not seeing them in the group stages, unfortunately.
Sadly, we got eliminated by the Phantom Griff. We got eliminated by Tua, the Tua Valkyries, and then Tua Valkyries versus JRU, and then Tua versus Phantom Griffins. So Phantom Griffins made it out. Good job for them.
Yeah, Phantom Griffins, even though they are 4 games and no points yet in the group stages, it's a big thing to actually reach the group stages.
Exactly.
I blame Blizzard. I blame Prego.
Yeah, I think. But Prego is actually a superb AD carry. He played mid lane last split,
Yeah.
and he did superbly well on the mid lane as well. So he's actually a very versatile player. All of us have different roles, and it's very important.
Yeah, the team dynamic is really important, especially in esports. It's the dynamics, the mindset. That's why in the NALCS you have people hiring sports psychologists
Yes.
for teams. CLG, after they got that sports psychologist, they went champions for NA for that split.
Yeah.
TSM now becoming a real big team again as an entire unit after they hired a sports psychologist. It's all about the mindset. It's all about the dynamic between your friends and teammates.
Yeah, there's so much that more than meets the eye when it comes to esports. Like, people usually just see 5 players on stage, but they don't see what happens in the backstage, where there's like a coach, a manager, the substitute players who also help, the analysts, the psychologists, the the organization that backs them up. These kinds of factors aren't taken into consideration, but they are actually a very key component of esports.
Yeah, and especially in the collegiate leagues, you already have these 5 or more people going to the same university. So it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be easier for them to connect to each
Yes.
other. So that's really it. And the LCL is gonna be one way, a one road going to the PGS, which is
Yes.
the pro for our Philippines, and even winning the group stage, winning through the entire LCL group stages into the finals will allow that team to participate in the international collegiate tournament,
Oh yes.
which is pretty big for a group of 5 kids who are still studying. Well, not kids, like 18 plus people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like, it would be super cool to get the opportunity to play against the top collegiate teams around the world, especially Korea. Because
yeah, Korea.
collegiate league in Korea is like the amateur scene in Korea as well, and that's crazy competitive already.
Another funny thing is, Singapore. I think the size of Singapore is around as big as Metro Manila.
Yeah.
But they have so many universities and collegiate teams. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, they do. I don't have the exact number, but it's a lot. It's it's like it's over 64. Now, let's see how this split, this term is, right? 64 teams, right? I think it's more for Singapore, so it's highly competitive. So that every single country in Southeast Asia and even all the way to North America, the collegiate league is so diverse in terms of skill, in terms of how these players play, and especially in the Philippines, you see Jungle Chin.
Yeah. Jungle
It's
Jin.
really
guys.
interesting to watch. Sometimes it's more fun than watching the lower tier pro players in other regions.
Yes. I'm actually really excited because in the Philippines we have the university rivalries, right? Like LaSalle and Ateneo. And we kind of have that as well in the LCL where it's OLFU versus UI. Remember last split? Like these two teams were at the top of their game and it was a very exciting series. And also, I wonder if they have those kinds of university rivalries in other countries as well.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, there will be like from NA there'd be like state versus state, and in Singapore, since they're pretty small as a country and the universities will not be very far from each other, I'm pretty sure there will be rivalries from a university here and across the street.
Yeah,
They're
that
like,
would be
our
really
mall
cool.
team is better than yours.
Yeah,
Korea, of course, very competitive, so there will be rivalries inevitably there, and that's what's so good about these collegiate leagues. And if you watch these team managers, coaches, and other casters in other regions, you'll find that they have they really want Riot and the other companies to focus on the collegiate leagues because
Yeah.
that's where your pro players often start.
you know, like counting, starting when I don't know what the perfect metaphor is, but you know, you start when people are just growing to become full-fledged players.
There's a Drake song for that.
Yeah.
It started from the bottom, now we
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Drake would know. So hopefully in the International Collegiate League we'll have country versus country rivalries as well. Hopefully the Philippines will be, you know, one of the top seeds, and then a lot of inter-country, you know, intercontinental, national rivalries. It's gonna be pretty interesting.
It's gonna be lit. Seeing all of these collegiate teams fight, and yeah, and Worlds is coming up around past October.
Yeah.
So that's also going to be exciting. It's not going to be collegiate teams, but seeing all the best teams from each region fight it out is going to be always explosive.
Exactly. Hopefully there will be a lot more viewing parties across the Philippines. I remember last year there were two viewing parties, one in SM Mega Mall and one SM North. Hopefully, you know, like there will be more organizers so that everyone can experience the viewing party.
Yeah, it's
viewing
totally
party
different
vibes.
experience from watching alone at home.
Yeah.
Even you can even like organize a small viewing party with your circle of friends. Just have someone with a big TV and then
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
it, and like have your dog watch it too.
Yeah. Don't forget the dog, guys. Never forget
Never
the
forget the dogs, because dogs are man's best friend.
dog. Yeah, and of course, I'm sure if they see you cheering for a team, they'll also cheer in their own little way.
Yeah, because they're not smart enough to think of them for themselves.
Yeah.
Sorry, dog lovers. I'm more of a cat person,
Yeah.
but cats at my place don't really want to watch League of Legends.
Oh, that's
They
sad.
just kind of sleep around in the background. They don't really care. Dogs are a lot more enthusiastic, but we'll be going into the game soon. Sorry for that delay. We'll just be waiting for a few more minutes, I believe.
Yes.
So yes, if you forgot, this is of course the Technological Institute of the Philippines, Predicator Esports versus the team from University of Mindanao, which are the Red Paladins.
Yes.
And this will be the third and final matchup for the second day of the LCL 2016 Summer Term Group Stages, brought to you by Smart. That will be 2 games as always.
So, any final words, Atlas?
Are you threatening me? Any last
Before
words?
we go into the game. Before we go into the game.
Well, other than like support your university's team, support your local team, support local esports. It's really about that. Philippine esports is still growing. You see, we're not at the same level of competitiveness in League of Legends compared to other regions. In some other games that I won't name, they reach top 8. But right now, we really need to step up. Just even in Southeast Asia, that'll
Yeah.
be sufficient, because Southeast Asia has one of the greatest teams of all time in League of Legends. Like Bangkok Titans in Season 2, while they haven't shown as much in Worlds, they're still very strong. They're still part of history, and I think that's where esports core lies in history, the narrative. That's why rivalries are so fun to watch.
Yeah.
CLG versus TSM. It's all about the team's histories. It's all about their narrative. But yeah, then of course we are still your shoutcasters, Atlas, and with me is Iconic. Wow, this feels like a closing, but we have loaded onto
Oh,
the
there we
Rift
go.
here. Teams are already walking out of their base. For the blue team from the Technological Institute of the Philippines is the Vindicator Esports. And we'll see the overview of the Summoner's Rift. That graphics update for Summoner's Rift a few years ago was really great. It's a much needed update
Exactly.
to the team. Look at that mural
It looks
there.
so much different from when League of Legends was first introduced into the open market.
I remember Season 1, it looked like a bad PS1 game, but now it's going to be on the blue team, will be the Technological Institute of the Philippines, Vindicator Esports, Hanzo on the top lane, Echo for the jungler is going to be Meow on that Graves. For the mid lane, of course, Janine on the signature LeBlanc, and for the bot lane duo is Cute and Tarya on that Draven and Janna
So
combo.
for University of Mindanao Red Paladins, we have UM Tab Hunter on the Galio, UM Dem on the Fiddlesticks, UM Neil on the Cassiopeia, and UM All Insane Jinx, and UM Powie on the Braum.
So, looks like both of these teams have pretty standard starts. Hanzo going for a little more warding to see if the start is different. Janine very
Janine
aggressive
already
immediately.
cheesing onto Neil.
So far, these teams just as pretty standard starts. Actually, for most of these games, the junglers have been starting on the bottom side. The Gromp for the red team and for the blue team will be the Krug. So they really like focusing on this top lane.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of pushing so far for Hanzo. Echo tops are usually super aggressive and they just want to get the levels, get the gold so that they can start snowballing. Maybe get a Dark Seal to start and then start building either their Trinity Force or their Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, Dark Seal is a pretty good item to follow up on your first back. You
Yeah.
don't have to upgrade it to Medjay.
Yes.
The utility combined with a Corrupting Potion and the boost to the 50% boost to the recovery from potions is huge, especially for someone who wants to stay in lane and keep pressuring like Echo. Oh, Cute is actually in a little bit of trouble here. The concussive blows will proc on him. The heal is burned. He is still very low. Escapes with less than half his life. But that is one summer spell burnt there. Very aggressive come from Powie and All Insane.
Wow, TIP not respecting the level 2 power spike that a Braum and a Jinx can bring to the table.
Attack speed plus the concussive blows is just way too much. And Graven, despite the tons of damage he can make, oh, Janine, of course, getting rooted with that, getting immobilized with that Miasma, but walks out of it and winning very good distortion, gets an even trade. Oh, damn, with a flash fear, Janine will be in a little bit of trouble here. That, the crow
not
bouncing
that.
around, the first blood actually goes to Neil.
Wow, University of Mindanao exceeding my expectations right now.
Very aggressive.
They're putting out a lot of aggression onto TIP. TIP maybe off to a shaky start, maybe just warming up right now.
Yeah. It's
But
like-
it seems like the trades that have been taken by University of Mindanao are always optimal for them.
It seems like Tab Hunter is also doing a lot of damage to Hanzo in return. Looks like Meow will be ganking here. The parallel convergence is there, preventing him from moving out. There's the slow from the red buff. There's a lot of shots coming from both of these champions, and finally, Tab Hunter goes down.
Good thing Tab Hunter didn't waste his flash there. That
Yeah,
was a
then-
mistake that Happy made a few games ago, and it's a good thing that he has the experience in the top lane to know that he has no escape.
Yeah, but it looks like Cute is responding to the aggression that All Insane and Powie have put out, but gets blocked by that Unbreakable.
Yeah, so you can see like how serious the top laners are and how Tab Hunter knows his limits and what his enemies can bring to the table. That's why he didn't even have to waste his flash. He was like, I'm already dead. so I'll just waste their time.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, little gank here? No, Meow just puts a little bit of presence and pressure there for the mid lane. And Tab Hunter actually uses teleport to get back to the top lane with his new and fashionable Null Magic Mantle to help to trade against Hanzo a little bit.
Probably building into the Spectre's Cowl right now just to give him enough sustain to live through Hanzo's poke.
Yeah, and if he does get the Spectre Scowl, every tick of magic damage he gains, he takes from Hanzo will be a little bit more recovery for him. So it's got, ooh, Janine. You weren't kidding when you said Janine is on point with on that LeBlanc.
Because even if Janine lost, gave first blood to the Cassiopeia, he's still leading in the CS. You can just see how comfortable he is with that champion. Had he not gotten ganked, he would have probably have a CS lead over the Cassiopeia right now.
Ooh, Hanzo, dangerous ground here, trying to protect his pink ward, but realizes I don't have my jungler with me. I can just give that, waste a little bit of their time, and then goes for the wave clear.
What Hanzo's doing is actually super good for Meow because jungle Graves needs a lot of farm, needs a lot of one-on-one time with the jungle creeps, you know, to get himself going. So wasting a few seconds of them's time is actually super beneficial for their jungler.
Yep, no lane is an island, and it's the butterfly effect. You think, oh, okay, Hanzo's playing it pretty safely and wasting their time. That's good for him, so he's not dying. But it's also good for the rest, for Meow, since he's getting the gold. And what's good for Meow is also good for the entire team because he's the jungler. And
Yes.
it's just logic. It's just one small leap of logic to the next, and it's just the butterfly effect.
And
Janine-
aside from that, we have some
Ooh,
action
Janine
in
might
the
be in
mid
a little
lane.
bit of trouble here, having to go, but that burst, that's not enough. Gets Petrifying Gaze, but okay, it was enough. Ignite got him. That's a 1-for-1 there in the mid lane. That was a lot of burst coming from Janine with Ignite there, but Neil with a poison, with a Petrifying Gaze, just enough to get the kill on him.
Janine going to have his mid lane reset because Dem is actually pushing the mid lane in. The moment it crashes to the turret will deny all of the minions, and Janine's minions will actually be pushing towards the Cassiopeia side.
Yeah, and Meow, not quite fast enough to get that CS and counter deny it.
Yes. The one thing that TIP got from that advantage was they found out where the Fiddlesticks was. They wasted his time in middle and they wasted his time shoving mid lane, so they have a general idea of where the Fiddlesticks is. This kind of information.
Ooh, the trades coming from Janine are so favorable to him because, oh, here comes Dem with the surprise party. Almost killing down Janine, but
man,
now
so
Meow
close.
with the response damage also almost taking out Dem. Looks like he won't be sleeping with the fishes just yet.
Dem and Neil not on the same page there. Had
Yeah.
Neil been there, they could have gotten the kill onto Janine.
It looks like he was way too afraid of the burst that Janine could bring out, that Neil had to back away, leaving Dem alone there. Almost cost him his life.
Yes. So this kind of information where you know where the enemy jungler is, you can actually play around it and take small advantages like shoving the lane in so that you can have it reset. Things like these, the small micro plays can actually have a super big effect.
Jungling is an art.
Yes.
Because you have to pay attention to all these little details. In every single game today, I've mentioned that timing and efficient use of time is the most important thing for junglers. And another thing is you also have to work on every single detail, work on every advantage that you can make.
If you recall correctly, during our first match, we had the Kayle versus Fiora. The Kayle versus Fiora, the jungler actually reset the wave, and that actually put the Kayle on the back foot for the rest of the game. It's these small things that actually affect the top lane and the mid lane a lot.
So yeah, it's all about the little details as a jungler. That's why it is, I think, the hardest role to master in the game. You can just go lock in mastery, clear waves, and then gank. But to master the role truly, you have to pay attention to those tiny little bits of information. But now Meow gets spotted out by a ward, but he's gonna get that extra 30 gold. And now Hanzo is just going in straight for Tab Hunter. Cannot have the damage to go dive that. He does have the Chrono Break, but doesn't want to waste that immediately. Oh, Cute is now snared there, exhausted as well. The Glacial Fissure hits him again. The rocket not just enough, but the shields coming from Tarja just enough to keep him alive. And now All Insane and Kawi very dangerously low. Now he's fighting back, and there's so much
Wow.
damage coming from the Axis, and he turns it around, but Dem is there feared, and a surprise party might be able to take both of them out, but here comes Hanzo. Almost gets taken out, but just before the explosion, shifts back in time. This game is action-packed.
That was very questionable coming from University of Mindanao. Their bot lane was actually pushing in, but them was just there in the back line waiting for an opportune moment, but they kept pushing it in. So he couldn't land the gank. He was forced to use his Crow Storm and his Flash and didn't get anything out of that exchange.
Yeah, and they were able to take out All Insane, even though that Dem got the kill onto Cute. Because I think Janine taking out, solo killing Neil there is like, oh, okay, their mid laner is not here anymore. They can't, the mid laner can't respond, so let's just go around and turn. And that's another little bit of information that they used to their advantage.
Yeah, it was very sloppy. There was also the Jinx. She actually flashed in and then tried to land the rocket, but that rocket couldn't deal enough damage to actually
Yeah, the shield
kill.
was clutched there coming from Tarja.
I think even without the shield, he wouldn't have died, so it was actually a big miscalculation coming from All Insane.
Yeah, and looks like Hanzo will be pushing in this wave, and Tab Hunter in a very dangerous spot. He doesn't want to lose all of this CS, but he might actually be losing more by staying here and being pressured by Hanzo. Dem is not anywhere near this lane, and Hanzo is just looking for an opening that he needs to take out this Argent defender of Demacia.
So far, this is what you'd expect in the top lane matchup. The Echo always pushing it in, having a CS lead because he keeps pushing the minions into Galio's turret, and Galio doesn't have the best auto attack animation, and he also doesn't have the best minion clearing skills under turret.
Yeah, he has a lot of AoE, but his mana pool is so low. You already see him here.
Yeah, especially with the way he's itemizing towards that Abyssal Scepter. He has no mana regen whatsoever. I doubt he's running mana regen runes. So
Ooh, Meow might be in a little bit of trouble here. Slowed down. Dark Wind also on him. Jets chunk to half his health.
wow.
So that might actually slow down his clear and pressure that he can bring out, even though it wasn't a kill for Dem and Neil. But that's also information for TIP.
Yes.
They get the information where Dem is.
The Crow just bouncing between the Scuttle Crab and Meow, just taking 1/4 of his HP.
And I think earlier the first blood onto Janine, I think it was the clone's fault.
Oh, really?
You see the Dark Wind bouncing onto Janine and then the clone, and then back onto the LeBlanc. So that's a lot of
yes, that's
damage
actually
onto
an
him, giving the
interesting
first blood to
interaction.
Neil. Yeah, so if you're someone with a clone like Shaco or Wukong, you don't want to go anywhere near a Fiddlesticks at these low levels.
Especially when a Fiddlesticks has 45% CDR.
Oh man.
The amount of CC that he can bring to the table is downright obnoxious.
Yeah, some people before actually max. Oh, look at that. You know, being pressured off the Scuttle Crab. But Janine just dealing so much damage in the trades. But yeah, in some games, I've seen Fiddlesticks not max the life drain.
Yeah.
They leave it at 3 and then max the fear because it increases the duration and decreases the cooldown, which is one of the biggest things you can use for a gank as a Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks' fear used to be 3 seconds long.
That's so long.
That was the time when Fiddlesticks was actually played as support as well.
Ah, yeah. Back
So-
in around season 3 or 4?
Season 3 or
yeah,
season
3.
4.
Yeah.
And that actually caused a few nerfs onto his Q. It's now 2.25 seconds, and it kind of reduced his obnoxiousness a little bit, but with the introduction of the additional 5% CDR that you can get in this season, it's somewhat mitigated by the 45% CDR.
Yeah, that small 5% you get. Oh, and Hanzo just going straight in. Thankfully, that Bastion coming from Tab Hunter will be enough to at least give him a little bit of protection from that magic damage that Hanzo brings out. But yeah, like you've been saying, he just keeps pushing this wave in relentlessly. Because even if Dem is able to gank, he has a Chrono Break to bail him out. He
Yeah.
doesn't need to always use it offensively.
I wonder what these two Negatron cloaks are actually gonna be built into. Because that could become a ZZ Rot or double Abyssal Scepter. Because we know that the Cassiopeia is obviously gonna go for Abyssal Scepter, but we don't know what Tab Hunter's gonna opt for.
It might be Zizrot, actually, because he's having trouble keeping up with a wave clear from Hanzo. Oh, but Janine is just taken him out, gets turned into stone, and Dem is here very, very quickly. The dark wind actually bounces on him, but seems like he'll be there, and Meow will be present if ever a fight does break out. But I think it will be the Zizrot portal for Tab Hunter, seeing as he does need to catch up to the wave clear that Hanzo can bring.
Yeah.
It's not a very offensive Zizrot, but it's very important for him to build that first if he's gonna decide to actually.
That was such a close call for Janine right there.
Yeah.
Had the Noxious Blast landed, Neil could have landed three more Twin Fangs and then just pressured Janine to either blow his flash or his life.
Yeah,
So
and Dem was there too for the backup, so even if Meow was there to help Janine, there would have been quite an explosive fight in the mid lane.
yeah, exactly. What you can see right now in the mid lane matchup is a ton of burst versus a lot of sustained damage coming from the Cassiopeia's Twin Fangs. So it kind of depends how it's properly executed, but in prolonged fights where Neil can keep landing Noxious Blast and Twin Fangs, he can just out DPS Janine all fight long.
I think Tab Hunter will play a lot into that with that flash and Idol of Duran.
Yeah.
And into the Petrifying Gaze, into the AoE that Cassiopeia can bring. It looks like Janine is just going all in. And scaring him off, and Dem actually burning Janine's flash with a surprise party. It seems like he does not be able to get anyone. Just Meow with a little bit of pressure. Like no one else is gonna respond to this. No roams from Taria or Powie. They're just staying in their little island in the bot lane. Very even, almost very even match here in the bot lane. 145 to 142. The disparity of just 1 kill, 1 assist.
We rarely see these waves actually being
Oh, so much damage, and Meow just flashes in for the kill, and with a BM mastery emote.
We haven't seen these lanes get shoved so much into the turrets aside from the mid lane for University of Mindanao. That might be the first turn for Vindicator Esports, not deciding to split it and give it to the LeBlanc, but I guess it's an okay decision because you want the LeBlanc and the Graves to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, maybe Taria could have went a little bit more distance from the turret, so Cute might be in trouble. Nah, that's way too deep, and Taria is gonna be there in a little bit.
The Raven with the Bloodthirster first. That's old school. Very old school.
That's old school because BT used to have it used to go up to 180 for each minion you killed.
Yes.
Now it's just 70, but the shield plus the Janna's Eye of the Storm, it's gonna be hard to take him out if he has both of those shields up.
Exactly, and if I know that one of these AD carries is running Warlord's Bloodlust. I think the Draven is actually running for
Taria
Warlord's
is in a little bit of
Bloodlust.
trouble. Will Dem pull the trigger now? It seems like now that Cute is in the thick of the fight, he's gonna get taken down. He gets exploded by the rocket. There's 2 teleports gonna come in. One will get cancelled, but the Tab Hunter will be here for the support. Flash ult, Idol of Duran. Meow is not quick enough on the draw to get out the AoE, and that's 2 people for 0 in favor of Team Red Paladins, and they will be able to get this bot turret.
Ideally, what they should do right now for TIP is they want to cut their losses, so they want to send Janine and the Echo into Rift Herald right now. Because you don't need a jungler to take Rift Herald, especially when your enemy jungler is busy doing Dragon. That's an open objective right now.
But now it seems like they didn't go for it, and this Ocean Break will probably go to, it will go to Team Red Paladin, so that's 2 kills and a free Ocean Drake there. Not a lot of pressure gained, but looks like Hanzo will be going for the split push here.
So back to what I was talking about, Warlord's Bloodlust. It's actually super good on Draven because the amount of DPS you can do outnumbers the damage you can do with Fervor.
Yeah,
But you can't do that in the situation he was where it was a 4v1 and he was stun locked the entire
He
time.
was diving right into it. He was believing fully in the shield from the Bloodthirster and the Eye of the Storm, but I don't think he was not expecting 4 people to go on him.
And then the Flash Idol of Duran. TIP just not respecting the Galio. maybe they aren't keeping tabs on his summoners, but I haven't seen Hanzo put enough aggression on Tab Hunter to actually force a
Yeah, it
flash.
seems like they weren't keeping tabs onto Tab Hunter.
Eh,
Hey, Lamau, dank memes, but Hanzo got another turret there. If you didn't see it, yeah, that's the inner turret for the top lane gone. Janine a little bit of trouble, it gets feared, and ooh, gets taken out by Powie. Even though Janine on that LeBlanc is ultimately mobile.
that's not where you want your gold
Yeah,
to
that-
go.
yeah.
You don't want it to go to the support. You want to go to either your hyper carry or your sustained damage, the Cassiopeia. So we were actually talking about the Negatron cloak. So we're gonna get two
Double
Abyssal Scepter.
Abyssal Scepter. I was actually really expecting the Zisrod portal coming from Tab Hunter, but seems now he wants that AP and Magres Shred.
What's interesting is that they don't have any armor.
Yeah,
They're
that's
gonna
true.
get shredded by Q.
Oh, little fight
my
here.
God.
Idol Duran does not hit anyone. He's so low. Kyut takes him out, pops his passive. Ref Herald has returned to the void, gets scared too much from that fight in the mid lane. Looks like Hanzo is still looking for more people to strike down and bury in the sand, but it looks like it's just going to be the Raptors. Poor family of Raptors getting shot down by Meow.
That was a beautiful smoke screen by Meow.
Mhm.
That was actually just by the tip. So wherever he'd go, either towards the river.
Oh,
or
it seems like
the-
Hanzo going all aggressive here onto them, and Powie has to flash out, but looks like, oh man, too much damage comes from both of these carries. Another BM with a mastery emote.
Looks like TIP's just taken this game by the wheel and gone full throttle right now.
They're going straight for it, and how much damage they can bring. They're even going for the Baron. But looks like they have a feeling that this is happening, but Kyut is not there. So if ever they Google for a little fight here, this is so dangerous for TIP. They're getting it so low. Ooh, well-timed chrono break, but here comes a
What?
petrifying gaze. Stunning 3, but where's the rest of his team? Neil is going low, chasing Janine and Hanzo. Janine, that's the clone, will not be able to get him. Taria is giving him the speed boost, but the burst from Meow will scare him off a bit. Oh, Janine is going straight for it. Gets a
Janine.
kill on Neil with a Sigil of Malice popping, and you can see his body crumbling down. That is a Baron and a kill for TIP, and that's a huge swing. 8k gold lead in a flash.
Janine just showing his prowess right now onto LeBlanc, knowing when to go in for the flank and got the kill, the exit kill onto Neil.
Yeah, that was usually so dangerous for an inexperienced player, but Janine on that LeBlanc, what you said was true, as he knows what to do with that assassin.
Exactly. So, University of Mindanao not actually building a lot of armor. Looking into the Galio's itemization right now, he's all magic resistant, which will give Kyut a really good chance to shred through
He just
their
shred
tanks.
through him. You saw he Idol of Duran did while Kyut was there, and he just shred through him. And these turrets are falling down quickly to this very high damage and with Baroned up.
TIP just really snowballing the early to mid game. They were going toe to toe, but then when the mid game the mid game came, TIP just went full throttle, starting to get the Baron, starting to get picks, got the exit kill onto the Cassiopeia. I'm wondering what they're going to do now that there are no objectives except the T2 turret that's outside the enemy base.
Yeah, and this is a 10k, almost 10k gold lead. They have two options. They can keep pushing their advantage with constant team fights. I mean, this is what their, not team fights, but rather small skirmishes resulting in kills. This is what their composition is made of. Seems like they're just pushing the advantage here with their Baron buff going in, and Hanzo split pushing, like you said, is his job. Oh, Powie. Just a little love tap.
That's
for the-
probably mid T3 because they have two people up at top. The Fiddlesticks is nowhere to be found. And that's just sloppy rotations right now coming out of University of Mindanao.
And the Janine's just going in there, half health, but oh damn, has to flash in, gets pushed away by Monsoon. The Idol Duran gets cancelled, not a lot of utility and value gained from that. All insane getting jumped by Hanzo. The Dragon has marked him, but he's going back in time. Meow gets the kill onto them. Jungler versus jungler, and he wins. The Rocket not gonna deal a lot of damage, and they're just gonna end the fight and go straight for the inhibitor. But seems like RP, the Red Paladin, is still not over.
Beautiful.
Petrifying Gaze does not hit too many people. All of them are so low, and Hanzo wants to go in so bad. That's the fight.
Tab Hunter canceled his ultimate by himself that fight.
Oh, it was not cancelled.
No, the Janna's Q was actually on cooldown, and she used her ult to push the
Fiddlesticks away.
But Tab Hunter flash Idol of Durant, and then he just misclicked or something,
Oh, misclick. I mean,
and that cost them the entire fight.
that's the entire fight. Those little details, that one huge ult, that not a lot of value gained from that, that's huge. And this maintains a 10k gold lead plus a cloud rate for TIP. And I thought Riot made it so that it's not easy to accidentally cancel these channeling ults by right-clicking. So I guess that was really just a huge misclick there. But so far, what can Red Paladins do to get back in this game? They're 10k gold behind, so many turrets down, an inhibitor is destroyed. What are we gonna do here?
I think they should just think about the next game right now, because this 10k deficit is super big against a snow volley comp like that. It's going to take 20 to 30 minutes possibly of turtling, and this kind of turtling depends on TIP making a mistake, which is very highly which is unlikely.
Yeah, you see Janine, these assassins are usually the ones that make the mistakes, but looks like Hanzo is just gonna go straight for all insane. He's the one who's insane right now with so much damage going from him. Almost close, but too much gold on this Echo for that to matter.
They can't defend 5v5, nor can they go for picks, because they don't actually have adequate wave clear, especially against this kind of composition.
Oh my god, damn. Damn.
Oh,
Cute actually gets the kill with the whirling death. Oh man.
The Unbreakable actually was a second late. He used his
Yeah.
Unbreakable when the whirling death was already behind him, which actually killed them.
That makes the 12k gold lead, and I think you're right. You have to think about the next game, because if you think about it, if you're going to try and... Ooh, a little fight here? No, just a little petrifying gaze. Red turret destroyed. Hanzo going in and out. They just want this inhibitor. And Janine, wow, very, very brave. Trusting in the shield, trusting in the mobility. And now they're going to go out of here. And Cute's like, oh no, I'm going to stay and fight. Hanzo's like, I'll fight with you. And Tab Hunter, again, only one person with Idol of Durant. Cute is popping his ult. Oh man, Hanzo finally goes down. Cute still full health with the shield, gets feared, but Damn is going down really quickly from the bullet of Meow. That's a double kill for a
Penta.
Oh, it's gonna be a Penta.
No!
Oh no! Janine, what did you do? Takes away the Quadra from Cute, but that is definitely gonna be game for Red Paladins in favor of the Technological Institute of the Philippines.
University of
Vindicator
Mindanao
Esports.
cannot ban out Janine's mid lane. They need to focus on getting champions that they are actually comfortable with, and they can play to a challenger level to just go toe-to-toe with TIP.
Wow.
Crazy.
That was clean. At first it was pretty even, but then Red Paladins just got a little off on their footing, and then TIP just went with that advantage and ran with it.
That one notable pick by Red Paladins is Red Buff, that transitioned into the Baron, into the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, that was the turning point for that match there. That was very interesting. Seeing Red Paladins perform on this very unconventional team comp, it was very decent for the first 15 minutes, but after that, it was just way too much pressure coming from every single member of TIP, of Team Vindicator Esports. So looking at the stats here, Janine and Cute just popping off, 16k and 13k damage. Wow.
This was actually somewhat closer than what I expected. I thought that TIP would just out-damage them all throughout, but it looks like the Meow and the Echo didn't actually do as much damage. So they were actually more on attacking the turrets, like Hanzo getting 2 turrets.
That was a lot of value gained from the Rift Herald buff, getting 2 turrets off of that. But yes, that is game 1 of Vindicator Esports versus Red Paladins. And we will have a second game. We'll see how Red Paladins recovers from this loss and how clean that Vindicator Esports took them out after the 20-minute mark. Of course, we have been your shoutcasters for this game. I am Atlas, and with me is Iconic. We'll see you after the break.